Greetings everyone, today we have the battle of the century, old Maybach versus not so old Maybach. Old, real and loved by everyone Maybach that has chassis name V240 or W240 that Mercedes lost $200,000 on each sold car versus X222 Maybach that made more money than corrupt politician on inside stock trading. Let's start from fat, luxurious Maybach 57 and 62. Mercedes spent $1 billion on developing it. It is made from W140 chassis. V240 chassis name was for the long Maybach 62 and W240 was for the short 57 Maybach. This 2.7-ton car was the revolutionary in luxury world. Price for new Maybach in the beginning of 2000s was $350,000 and in the beginning of 2000s there were no Bugattis and Paganis and Koenigsegg's that cost $2 or $3 million. So $350,000 was a huge price. Press release was bigger than any sweet 16 birthday of a spoiled brat that loves her dad only for his money. Maybach was shipped from Germany to England on a ship that was named Queen Elizabeth II. Then it came to New York and was attached to a helicopter. And that helicopter transported the glass box with the Maybach that had huge Maybach logo onto New York soil. And then, from the harbor, it was escorted by the police to the Wall Street. That was one of the biggest stunts in automotive PR history. It was fastest, heaviest and the most luxurious four-door sedan. Under hood it had 5.5-liter twin turbocharged V12 that developed 542 brake horsepower and limited 900 Nm of torque. Together with 5-speed gearbox, 0 to 100 happened in 5.5 seconds. In the 62 Maybach and 5.1 seconds in 57. Then Maybach used the 6-liter AMG V12. Also twin turbocharged, it developed 612 brake horsepower and limited 1000 Nm of torque. Together with 5-speed gearbox, 0 to 100 was in 4.7 seconds for Maybach 57 and 5.2 for the 62 Maybach. Overall, Maybachs had 6 brake calipers, 4 in the front and 2 at the back. 2 separate brakes were connected by wire system for safety features. If one will fail, the second one will engage. Design of this beautiful beast was very delicate, shy, contained. It wasn't very poshy and luxurious. It gave you old money vibes. Money that doesn't like publicity. But every rapper loved this car anyway. Every centimeter in the interior is made specifically for you with the most expensive materials that were available in the car industry. Also, Maybach was very techy. You had 5 memory positions for rear seats, had 2 screens, DVD player, Blu-ray player. Also you had headphones, refrigerator, phone charger, remote control, champagne glasses, cooled and heated and massaged rear seats, voice recognition GPS system, Bose audio system with 21 speakers, keyless entry, adaptive cruise control and many other features, and of course it had umbrella. If you have problems with Maybachs, they will be very expensive. If you wanna buy Maybach today, you will think about the maintenance. Problems with Maybachs are so expensive that owners did have constant depression because of maintenance cost. Unlike Bentley or Rolls-Royce, you cannot save money on parts from BMW or VW to maintain or fix those luxurious cars because they do have the same parts. For Maybach you need to use Mercedes original parts if you're lucky, but if you're not lucky you will use Maybach original parts that are very rare and more expensive. Simple oil change will cost you from $150 if you have mechanic friends up to $400 if you do not have mechanic friends. Any V12 is expensive to maintain, but Maybach twin turbo V12 will cost you arm and a leg. Gearbox is usually reliable. It needs oil change every 50-60,000 kilometers. Also you need to clean radiators every 50-60,000 kilometers. Change all the cooling liquids even in transmission every 70,000 kilometers. I'm sure that every viewer of my video and subscriber of my channel wants to own 62 Maybach or 57 Maybach. But as any normal person, we are scared of maintaining bills. Even it is a luxurious big Maybach, it still has Mercedes engine. So it is possible to own it But if you only buy a good Maybach that was serviced on time. Before buying, check all the paperwork for maintenance. Check when the air suspension was serviced, because after purchasing, first will die air suspension and then air compressor, and they are not cheap. And I do not recommend the original Maybach air suspension. You need to research companies that make custom air suspension for Mercedes and buy from them, because they give you 10 years warranty and they will be much cheaper. Because Mercedes air suspension in that period was horrible in all cars. V12 engines must be checked with endoscope. You must look for the scratches on the cylinder wall. If it had the scratches, then it will consume oil. And then there are other things that need to be changed. Alternator will cost you $7,000. Sunroof replacement will cost you $50,000. So check all that in the maintenance papers. Forget about servicing Maybach in the Mercedes dealership. You will lose all your money. What you need is to find a good independent Mercedes mechanic and find few markets that sell old Mercedes parts and other markets where you can get new Mercedes parts. Mercedes does have classic department with all parts that you need, but the cost is very expensive. If you do not have or cannot find a good Mercedes mechanic that works independently, not in the dealership, then Mercedes dealers will overcharge you every time. And if you don't know where to buy Mercedes parts for your Maybach, then forget about the car, just don't buy it. Maintenance cost will cost you $5,000 a year at least if you are lucky. That's a crazy amount of money. Also, many say that interior makes noises, some even rattly noises, and that will also cost you. Buying a used Maybach today is a very big dilemma. On one side, it is Mercedes V12. On the other side, you do have some Maybach parts in it that are impossible to source on a budget. Buying it is a very big risk, but I would buy it for myself and my damaged soul only if I had $100,000 in my safe just laying around. And I would enjoy this car every day. I would drive it even to go pick up some bread. That's the best car in the world. It's so good, it's so quiet, the smell alone is great. I love it. I love it every time when I see it on the road, in the internet, on YouTube, in Instagram. It's just a great vehicle. It's a true heavy luxury. Every time I see this vehicle, I am smiling. And I have a goal of buying it one day. Now let's talk about X222. The X222 Maybach is much more reliable car and cheaper to maintain if you buy S400 or S560 Maybachs. Air suspension is much more reliable. It will not break if you maintain it. Overall car is lighter, more agile in the corners. Still, I cannot say that it's faster, but it's more easier to live with. It has camera 360. Overall, it has more features. Interior has huge separated seats with champagne glasses, refrigerator, great audio system, ambient lighting, DVD players, internet, everything that you need in this car. But under all the fancy features, it is a Mercedes S-Class W222 and nothing more. X222 is a full-gazy Maybach. Every time you will drive it, you will feel that you have a cheap knockoff. This cheap knockoff did bring ton of cash to Mercedes. If you choose the W222 Maybach, deep down you will know that you are driving not a real car. But if you want to buy it, before buying it you must pay attention not only to the mileage but to the engine running time. 90% of X222 Maybachs are chauffeur driven, and usually those engines are idling a lot with the turn on AC or heater, so car is standing and idling and the engine is running and it's not going anywhere for hours sometimes. That means no proper cooling for radiators and engine starts to have too much heat, and that will bring to the scratches on the cylinder walls. And also it will increase oil consumption after that. So before buying your fake X222 Maybach, you need to check cylinder walls. After buying it, you must change oil every 6,000–7,000 kilometers, clean all the radiators, front radiators, radiators for transmission, all the radiators that you have there, and change cooling liquids everywhere in the transmission, in the engine, every 50–60,000 kilometers. Also change the transmission oil every 80,000 and 90,000 kilometers. Then you will have indestructible X222 that will serve you up to 300,000 kilometers. then you can enjoy your fake Maybach. Sorry for judging, but it's my opinion. Some people love this car and I'm very happy for them. But for me, it's a fake Maybach. If you do have money to maintain 57 and 62 Maybach, then buy it and enjoy it. I know that this advice is not logical and sounds very stupid and dumb and very financially irresponsible to recommend buying a car that financially can ruin you anytime. But if you do have $100,000 of cash in your safe, buy it, enjoy it every day. We buy cars that for our soul, not for our accountants. If you don't have $100,000 just laying around and you don't like the fake X222 Maybachs, then buy a Mercedes W140 with straight 6 engine or a V8. It will do the same job as Maybach and keep your budget intact. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what do you think about the video and what is your favorite Maybach. And I believe that many of my viewers will like the old Maybach than the new Maybach. Let me know in the comments. Take care and bye bye.